Halftime show could have a bigger impact than the game itself. Well, the Super Bowl halftime show does exactly that. In 2024, Usher brought in an audience of 180 million worldwide, the biggest ever in the event's history. But how did singing and dancing get to be the centerpiece of America's biggest sporting event? The first edition of the Super Bowl was held in 1967 when the Green Bay Packers beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Los Angeles. Because of the sheer size of the event, organisers wanted to put on entertainment at halftime for the fans in the stadium. It was a display of marching bands, dancers and pure USA patriotism, and that was the theme that followed for years. In the 1980s, the Walt Disney Company got involved and we started seeing some interesting and questionable displays. But we got our first glimpse of halftime shows to come in '93 when none other than Michael Jackson stunned fans with his 15-minute medley of his own smash hits. When he walked out on stage, he had to wait for the crowd's cheers to die down for about 2 minutes before even starting his first song. Diana Ross, Gloria Estefan, Phil Collins all starred in their own shows, as did Aerosmith, who performed alongside NSYNC. Things got a little bit out of hand in 2004 when Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson produced perhaps the most famous or infamous wardrobe malfunction in history. Shows from the likes of Prince, Lady Gaga and Beyoncé are considered by critics as the best. To give you an idea of the scale of things, Rihanna's 2023 halftime show included roughly 800 people. These ranged from backing dancers to stage crew to camera operatives broadcasting to millions around the world. The whole stage for that show was built in roughly 8 minutes and was broken down and cleared away in the same time. The acts perform for free nowadays, even though the experts reckon it costs around $30.
morning. This is Early Sports Breakfast on TalkSport. I'm Sam Quek, and it is Wednesday, October the 29th. Thank you very much, Nick, for reading those headlines for us. We're going to be building up to TalkSport Breakfast at 6 with Alan Brazil and Ali McCoy. But Nick, what we got over the next hour?
Well, we'll start with the Carabao Cup. We'll look at the runners and riders for the Celtic job. A few names in the hat there. We'll hear from Dimitar Berbatov, one of, I think, my favourite ever players to watch.
Great player, wasn't he?
And, yeah, unbelievable. We want to know as well, when you've thrown the toys out the pram at work or at home, as always, get involved on the usual number. Call us on 03717 223344 or on the text 81089.
So, Nick,
yeah.
I've got to say, random question, why have you thrown your toys out the pram? Are we explaining later?
We're looking at Vinícius Júnior potentially leaving Real Madrid. I mean, he almost won the Ballon d'Or, didn't he? And then Real Madrid threw their toys out the pram when he didn't win it, when Rodri got it, didn't go. They didn't go again, did they, last year? Now Vinícius Júnior has thrown his toys out the pram with manager Xabi Alonso. He got subbed in the Clásico the other day, and he sort of seemed to say, I'm leaving, as he ran off the pitch. He might come to regret that. I don't know if you've ever... you don't seem like a toy thrower.
No, I'm very straight up, me.
Yeah.
I crave feedback. I'm one of those who, like, you can give me 9 compliments and then 1 criticism, and all I hear is the criticism. Yeah. Because I just want to improve. Yeah. But it's fascinating. And I don't know whether it's his managerial style, being very straightforward, if it comes to form or line up the team comes first.
I mean, I think, well, obviously, when you look at Madrid, certainly recently under Ancelotti and Zidane, you know, they were managers who both just said, look, you boys, you're Real Madrid players, you can sort out things on the pitch by yourself. He gave them quite a lot of freedom. Whereas Xabi Alonso is a bit more of a, let's call him a systems manager, and is asking people probably to do slightly more specific jobs. You've also got Kylian Mbappe, who upset things at Paris when he came into PSG. Now in there's not enough room for them all. Obviously, talking about Endrick as well, potentially coming to the Premier League, he could be, you know, even as soon as January. But if Vinícius Júnior leaves Real Madrid, be a lot of clubs on high alert.
Yeah, lots. Whether he goes to a club or whether he goes to Saudi, that's the big question, isn't it? Right, thank you very much.
Hopefully he'll choose football over money, that's all I'm saying.
We never know in this day and age. Carabao Cup football, good old cup football in England. We now know 3 of the teams into the quarterfinals, and here's how last night sounded on TalkSport.
Well, there are 7 sides left in the League Cup who've never reached the final of this competition, and 2 of them meet here in North East Lincolnshire. Somewhere to get the cross in, and it's headed in by Lewis Potter at the far post, and that might be the end of Grimsby's Cup dream.
We wanted something from Grimsby, and we just didn't get it.
They're through to the quarterfinals for a second successive season. Grimsby 0, Brentford 5.
Well, it's League One Cardiff who've come out on top against Championship Wrexham. Wrexham 1, Cardiff 2, and it's no more than Cardiff deserve.
Just 1 defeat in 8. Can they prolong the winless run of Marco Silva's Cottagers?
And then a shot from Woodrow. What a goal! Against his old club. It's only taken him 4 minutes. Wickham 1, Fulham 0.
My word. The power that he gets behind that.
Into the near post, turned in superbly by Josh King.
What a time to get your first goal for Fulham.
Huge applause from 3 sides of Adams Park. They forced a penalty shootout against Premier League Fulham, and it's Issa Diop, the centre-half. Can he win it for Fulham? Yes, he can. He blasts it into the roof of the net, and Fulham are through.
That's right, Fulham needed penalties to get past League One Wickham to reach the Carabao quarterfinals. They won the shootout 5-4 as Benjamin Lecomte saved 3 penalties after the match at Adams Park ended all square after 90 minutes. Marco Silva says Fulham can take confidence going forward after breaking a poor run of results.
Of course, the results they weren't at all good enough for us, even if you under difficult circumstances in almost all the games, even under really difficulties in terms of solutions, in terms of other things. I'm sure that with all the squad available, we are going to be much stronger, definitely. To be positive, the first thing that I want the players to be, they have to be positive in this moment. The confidence is not something that you can buy anywhere. You have to win games, you have to perform well to get and to boost the confidence. In this moment, we need all of us even more together. Our fans with the team as well. They need to make Cottage next Saturday really a fortress for us, because we are not going to need them to push ourselves and to help these guys to win the game. And football is like that. Just as we can change, sometimes the waves are coming against you. We have to face it in the best way possible.
Positive words there from the Fulham boss, as they're third from bottom in the league and will host Wolves on Saturday. Elsewhere in the Carabao Cup, Cardiff secured a 2-1 victory at Welsh rivals Wrexham, and Brentford thrashed 4-tier Grimsby 5-0. Keith Andrews sounds like he's eyeing a trophy this season for his excellent Brentford side.
We're enjoying it. I think we approached it right away. The first second round away to Bournemouth and Villa in the next round. We wanted to take it really, really seriously. I was part of it last year when we got to Newcastle, unfortunately lost in the quarterfinals, and whoever we get in the quarters, we'll approach it very, very seriously and hope to progress and give the fans a little bit more shout about.
Yeah, we're at that point in the competition where the conversations again start. Which do you prioritise, the league or the cup? And I think it's a tricky balance, especially with the League Cup. Eddie Howe's spoken about this week and the desire to win the competition versus resting and rotating players. Eddie Howe there clearly wanting more silverware. Elsewhere, Brighton go to Arsenal tonight. That'll be live on TalkSport 2. Fabian Husela says that he'll play some of his youngsters. On Sportsbar, Jason Cundy says a win in the Premier League is more important than the Carabao Cup for them.
If you're actually you're thinking about this, it's a bonus. This competition is a bonus. You don't put your eggs in this competition. Not
even if you're Brighton.
No, the points of the weekend are bigger, mate.
Are 3 points bigger than the Carabao Cup? I mean,
yeah, no. For this weekend, they've got Leeds at home, right? Brighton got Leeds at home. Those 3 points are always going to be... This is get into the quarterfinal. Once you get to the semis, that's when I think things change for these teams. Arsenal played home and away against Newcastle, went on to go and win it last year, right? And you look at the side, both managers picked strong teams in both of those semi-finals.
Yeah.
And Newcastle come out on top, right?
Yeah.
So that's when you look at it and go, right, we got a chance to get Wembley and win it. Right now, everything's a bonus.
Yeah, it's a difficult debate, isn't it? Which do you rest your players? Do you keep them injury-free? I think we'll find out the closer we get into the finals. But yeah, I agree. I think more semi-finals, people tend to do their strongest lineups. Spurs boss Thomas Frank has questioned why the Carabao semi-finals aren't played over 2 legs for them. He said that he thinks for 2 reasons. One, for the smaller clubs, because if you want to beat a bigger club, it's much easier to play one game. So we really want someone to break out, and it's not the same boring teams winning, of course, except from Spurs. He said, we then need to skip 1 semi-final for everyone else that plays so many games. It should only be 1. If it's about money, then someone needs to fix it. If it's the Premier League paying money to the EFL, because as far as I understand it, it's because of that. So someone has to fix it. It should technically be very easy. Right, let's head up to Scotland, because here at TalkSport, we're told Robbie Keane is a contender for the Celtic job. Our colleague Martin O'Neill is keeping the seat warm at Parkhead until the board find a permanent replacement for Brendan Rodgers, who walked away on Monday night. Jamie O'Hara knows Robbie Keane from his Spurs days and backs him to do a decent job.
I think Robbie Keane would be a good shout, you know.
Yeah.
You know, look, the thing is with I know Robbie, and I know him well. I've played with him. I've been around him in the dressing room. He is a leader. He's a winner. You know, he's set standards. Whenever people ask me about who's best trainer, Modric, Berbatov, I always just say Robbie Keane. Standards are set, and he's gone into management. And I know he's gone to Maccabi Tel Aviv. He won the league.
Yep.
With Maccabi.
Yep.
And he's gone. Now he's in Hungary.
Hungary, yeah, won the league.
And he's won the league.
Yeah, he won the league last season.
So you know, he's no mug.
Oh, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Robbie Keane. Played with him at Soccer Aid. Lovely guy. But ultimately, even at that level, even in a football charity match, it's win at all costs. I think it'd be a great signing Let's watch this space elsewhere. Elsewhere, we also understand that Ipswich Kieran McKenna is being looked at by Celtic, but McKenna is under contract at Ipswich until 2028. So the club, we hear, would fight to keep him. The bookies' favourite as well, but forgetting Ange Postecoglou, a potential return back to Celtic. Already names circulating to head up to Scotland, but ignore me. Next story, and we were talking just earlier on with Nick, Vinícius Júnior. So whispers are slowly starting to come out after an interview when they played El Clasico against Barcelona. Kylian Mbappé is not happy. The Brazilian winger has fallen out publicly with Real Madrid boss Xabi Alonso, and the arrival of Kylian Mbappé seems to upset him a little bit. We've heard from South American football expert Tim Vickery. He says a move to England could be on the cards for Vinícius Júnior.
What happens with Real Madrid, I don't know, because it looks as if it comes down to a choice between Vinny and the coach, they will choose the coach. They've already got Mbappé. He's under contract till 27. They were supposed to extend that until 2030, but it seems there have been one or two problems and it hasn't yet been extended. What happens if they decide they want to get rid of him? Well, Saudi Arabia is an option, but he can move as a free agent in 27. And if it's not Saudi, and you can imagine why he wouldn't want to go there, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Premier League. It could happen. It could well happen. So watch this space.
There's the question then, isn't it? Where is Vinícius Júnior going to go if he's leaving? Premier League, Saudi, both very attractive for very different reasons. So with that in mind, what are your thoughts about the whole situation? Has it been an emotional response after a heated game? Tensions are high. It's been very emotional for him and he's saying something he will later regret. So what I want to know, have you ever said anything, whether it's at work or in your personal relationship or just out and about, that you regret? Or, you know, when you've been a bit emotional, a little bit frustrated, and you've thrown your toys out the pram? Let us know. Get in touch, 03717 223344, or you can text us on 81089. This is Early Breakfast on TalkSport with me, Sam Quek. Up next, we'll hear from Dimitar Berbatov on Florian Wirtz and Man United's forward line. morning, I'm Sam Quek and this is Early Breakfast on TalkSport. We're building up to breakfast with Alan Brazil and Ali McCoist at 6 o'clock later on this morning. Some of the headlines you're waking up to this Wednesday morning. Lucy Bronze marked her 34th birthday with a goal and an assist for England in their 3-0 friendly victory over Australia. We'll speak to TalkSport's Uma Gurav about the Lionesses about 5:35 this morning. Elsewhere, Scotland lost 4-3 at home to Switzerland, whilst Wales slumped to a 5-2 defeat against Poland in Newport. Abby Larkin's 90th minute strike saw Republic of Ireland return to the top tier of the Women's National League, beating Belgium 5-4 on aggregate. Northern Ireland, however, will need to recover from 2-0 down in the second leg of their clash with Iceland this evening. And in tennis, British player Cam Norrie described his victory over world number 1 Carlos Alcaraz as the biggest win of his career. He's through to the last 16 of the Paris Masters after coming from behind to knock the 6-time Grand Slam champion out.
Just try to enjoy my tennis the second half of the year, and I was able to do that, and to get a win like this is, like I said, the biggest win of my career, my first win over world number 1, and especially probably the most confident player in the world right now.
For all the latest stories, go to TalkSport.com. Okay, it is competition time. That's right. Here we go. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's your time to win, baby, and it's our biggest competition yet. We're giving you the chance to play to win up to £100,000. It's TalkSport's biggest cash prize ever. £100,000. That's right, you heard that's correct. And it's completely tax-free. If you're the lucky winner, the excitement doesn't stop there, though. You'll also be coming to TalkSport Towers on Thursday, the 13th of November, to play for that life-changing cash prize. Here's how to enter.
18 plus UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word cash to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission, or you can enter for free by calling 0330 880 3338. All entries must be received by the 6th of November at 4 p.m. This is a TalkSport Limited promotion run on TalkSport, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
Good luck, everyone. That's a belter one if you win that, isn't it? Okay, now, Dimitar Berbatov is the latest guest on Rio Ferdinand's Presents podcast. The former Man United and Spurs forward told Rio about fearing he'd be kidnapped as an 18-year-old in Bulgaria when a rival club tried to convince him to leave KSKA Sofia. Berbatov is also backing Florian Wirtz to come good at Liverpool.
I guarantee you he's going to be a success. The way he sees football, how he look for the space, how he know how to position himself, the touches on the ball, the improvisation, the eye for the pass and for the goals. Of course, someone can argue that his physique is not that great for the Premier League, but then you can easily see the great players of his position like Modric, you know, also the same build. Modric, fucking monster. It's unbelievable. So give him time, I think he's going to be unbelievable for Liverpool.
Completely agree. That was Dimitar Berbatov speaking to Rio Ferdinand Presents there. Nick, welcome back. Time to get into the back pages now. What are we starting with?
I mean, I think the first one is, we had been mentioning this previously, but Lucas Paquetá eyes West Ham New Year exit. This is on the back of the Times with Gary Jacob. West Ham United have been dealt a fresh blow, as if things couldn't get any worse there. Lucas Paquetá is keen to leave the relegation-threatened club in January. He's 28. He did nearly get that move to Man City before the spot-fixing allegations came in. He was cleared of all that, but that kind of scuppered that move to Man City. Do you think, can you see a landing space for Paquetá somewhere else in the Premier League?
It's difficult. I think time will tell, especially over the next few weeks. You tend to see as the darker nights come in, it gets a bit colder, more games under their belts, people start to pick up niggles, people get injured.
Yeah.
But from my point of view, I mean, if I'm playing for West Ham and, they are in the trenches at the moment, nothing seems to be going right. When you see one of your teammates, look at me, preempted, one of your teammates coming out and basically making it clear that he wants to leave or he's looking elsewhere, it's frustrating. It's quite demoralising, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
from a player's point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's probably their apart from Jared Bowen, probably certainly their best creative player, right? But it's been no secret that he has been trying to move away. West Ham bought him for £85 million, 51 million pounds from Lyon in 2022. They did think they were going to get 85 million from City for City for him, but you've got to say it's probably going to be a little bit less.
But now, when it's at the lowest, it's almost, in my opinion, sometimes you feel like he's a bit like, okay, it's not my job to dig us out, and it's like, well, you're getting paid, you're playing for a club. Play for that club while you're there.
Well, that's part of the problem, isn't it? I mean, it's like rats leaving a sinking ship at the moment. You into VAR? Do you like VAR?
Oh, swings and roundabouts, isn't it? It's like a love-hate relationship. It depends if the result of the VAR decision goes your way. I think there's so much money in football now that the decisions have to be right, but there is the controversies, isn't there? There's some shocking decisions.
I'd get it gone. But VAR's powers could extend to overturning second yellows. This is from Martin Ziegler in the Times. IFAB, football's lawmakers, as we always call them, they're meeting this week to discuss possible changes. And one of them is, can VAR get involved in overturning a second yellow? They currently do not have the power to overturn a second yellow, which is kind of crazy because a player can get sent off. I mean, this recently was sort of being talked about because of this midfielder for Olympiacos, Santiago Heza. I don't know if you saw against Barcelona last week in the Champions League. He got sent off for a second yellow where the Barcelona player, I think it was Rooney, just brushed his face. It was like literally like almost caressed his face. Yeah. Rooney went down like he'd been shot. Second yellow card, and he's sent off. And so people are sort of saying, well, maybe the VAR should get involved. But Mark Bullingham has recently said, the FA chief exec, that he doesn't really want any extension of the use of VAR, and he feels like it's in a good place. So
it's another game stoppage, isn't it? It's another moment in the game to stop, and the decisions are slow as it is.
I mean, I just don't think it's really. We're just arguing about different things rather than. I don't think it's really improved anything. Anyway.
I find it. I mean, VAR or Hawkeye, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's in so many sports.
Of course.
Well, but they're slick. Their decisions are quick. I don't know why they're so slow in football.
Cricket really led the way on this.
Yeah.
It's looking good. On the subject of the cricket, New Zealand 52 for 2. Live commentary of the second ODI continues on TalkSport 2. Emil Heskey saying that Isak needs to step up his game at Anfield. He needs to try a bit harder. It's not working hard enough, Emil Heskey says. Is that fair?
Oh, again, it's his opinion. I think Isak is an absolute talent.
He didn't have a pre-season.
I was just going to say he didn't have a pre-season. You've got to be fit. The Premier League is an absolute beast when it comes to pace and minutes and how hard and quick you have to play. I like Isak, but I saw a clip of him doing a running session at half-time. And I remember doing running sessions for Team GB, and I was one of those who used to get.
Was that when he played his first 45 minutes and then he just sprinted around at half time?
You say sprint? Did you see that?
No. Okay.
The clips of him, he was running, but it just looked so laissez-faire. And it's like, if you're gonna do it, do it. The camera's in front of him as well. It's like, hit the line. He wasn't even hitting the line. He was like slowing about 2 yards out, turning on the slow like the Titanic, and then striding out. But it's just a bit like, come on, get the intent. We need you, fella.
I'm with you on that. All right, well, just before I go, arise Sir Jimmy. Jimmy Anderson is now Sir Jimmy Anderson.
Congratulations.
For his services to cricket. Rishi Sunak had Jimmy Anderson in his New Year's honours list. So congratulations, Jimmy. And also...
Nice medal, that, isn't it?
Wow, come on. Sir.
I wonder where that stacks up in everything he's won.
He can sit in the House of Lords now. And influence policy. Anyway, very quickly before I go, cricketers used to urge to use fewer bats. Professional cricketers have been urged to rethink how many bats they're churning through, given the cricket bat emergency. I think climate change is affecting how much willow is grown, and also there's so much desire and need for bats, especially in India and Pakistan, that players are being told to actually try and use fewer of them. I mean, some of these guys have like 20 bats in their locker.
Yeah, and everyone else uses one bat for about 10, 20 years.
I've got Darren Goff's old bat.
I bet you can still play with that.
Which I managed to get through Ollie, the producer, Ollie Hunter.
Decent.
Here, he said it was too heavy for him, so he gave it to me.
Cricket bats are heavy.
Yeah. Well, I like it heavy.
Well, because they possibly use some sort of hybrid with a different material.
Right. Okay, so
or make them titanium, they'd be pinging them everywhere.
Well, they were talking about that. They were talking about maybe using either sort of laminated bat, which I don't know, never really works well, or using a bit of willow on the outside and a different wood on the inside.
Yeah.
But
or like a composite. So hockey sticks used to be wooden, and they changed them to composite.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we're looking at that. Climate change is going to mean composite bats, and that is the
more sixes. More big hits, that's what we want. Thank you very much,
Cheers.
Nick. That was a look at today's back pages. I'm Sam Quek, and this is Early Sports Breakfast. And also a reminder, TalkSport is now on your smart TV. Just grab the app on Android TV and Google TV, and we're even on Prime Video too. TalkSport live on your screens as well as your speakers. Up next, we've got some chat about the Lionesses.
Shin pads are a footballer's best friend. Even if players like Jack Grealish do wear such small ones you can barely even see them. But what's the story with shin pads, and are there actually any rules on how big they should be? It all started with cricket, actually. Cricketers had been wearing shin pads since the 1700s. It was thanks to this guy that shin protection made its way over to football. Meet Samuel Widdowson. He was a cricketer and a footballer. He played for Nottingham Forest back in the late 1800s, and he wanted a way to protect his legs from nasty tackles. Naturally, his mind drifted to his other favourite sport, where players had been wearing these pads for a century. Story goes, Widdowson cut up his cricket pads and popped them on before taking to the footy pitch. His Nottingham Forest team then began wearing them from 1887, and the first known use of them in a match was in 1894, in a match between Newcastle and the then Woolwich Arsenal. Eventually, FIFA clocked on that this kind of protection was pretty important for footballers. And so, in 1990, basically 100 years after Widdowson first put them on, shin pads were made compulsory. It became part of Law 4 of IFAB. That's the body responsible for setting the laws of the game internationally. But the law doesn't actually specify anything about measurements of shin pads. It just says they must be made of a suitable material and be of an appropriate size to provide reasonable protection. It's really vague, even though there have been calls for it to be changed. But for now, that's why Grealish and co can still get away with these ones, which are no bigger than a credit card and which seem to offer little to no protection whatsoever. Good morning, I'm Sam Quek and you're listening to Early Breakfast. This morning we've been asking you, when was the last time you threw your toys out the pram? And this is because Vinícius Júnior's outburst after the game at the weekend means that he could be leaving Real Madrid. That's right, he's not happy with his boss, Xabi Alonso. So give us a call, 03717 223344 or text 81089. We're building up to breakfast this morning from 6 a.m. with Alan Brazil and Ali McCoist. Some of the headlines that you're waking up to this Wednesday morning. George Ford has been confirmed as England's fly half for the first autumn international against Australia at Twickenham on Saturday, with Finn Smith on the bench. There's no place at all for Marcus Smith and only 2 backs among the replacements. In cricket, England spinner Sophie Ecclestone has recovered from a collarbone injury just in time for today's semi-final against South Africa in the Women's Cricket World Cup. And interim boss Martin O'Neill claims that it's in the lap of the gods as to whether he'll be a success in his second spell at Celtic. The 73-year-old says that his first task is to unite the club.
I think it's the easiest thing in the world to say that when a club is successful, it has everybody going in the same direction. That doesn't seem to be the case at this moment. So really, that's it.
O'Neill's first game in charge will come tonight against Falkirk in the Scottish Premiership. For more on these stories, visit TalkSport.com. OK, now we're going to speak to Uma Gurav after the Lionesses' 3-0 friendly win against Australia at Pride Park last night. Good morning, Uma.
Good morning, Sam. Yeah, no toys thrown out the pram for me last night. I'm happy.
Yeah,
I'm happy after the Lionesses win.
Really good win. Obviously, it was the first game against Australia after they knocked them out of the World Cup. So everyone thought Australia were going to come in absolute, with a bit of a chip on the shoulder, something to prove. But that wasn't the case. Early disallowed goal for the Lionesses, but that soon followed by a red card for Australia. I think it was about 17 minutes into the game. So that was massive, wasn't it, in terms of how the Lionesses were going to get on?
Yeah, it sort of set the tone. But I think even before the sending off, the Lionesses were on top. It was one of those games where, Australia are good and full credit to them. I think as an opposition, you'll recognise a lot of the names in that squad from the WSL, particularly from Arsenal, the likes of Steph Catley, Caitlin Ford, Sam Kerr, of course, up front. But the problem was, whether or not it was to do with that defeat to Brazil earlier, England just didn't give them anything really. And I think in some ways I was sad to see Alana Kennedy sent off because I want England to be tested against an 11-player team, which hasn't happened now in these 2 friendlies, which perhaps concern, and maybe that's the focus now in the next 2 friendlies in November. But yeah, full credit to them. All over the pitch. They were absolutely fantastic. Can't fault them at all.
Yeah, full of confidence, full of intent. I've also got to ask as well, have you got any updates on the injury that we saw to Adjaman?
It's not looking good, is what we have been told from Serena Wiegman. Of course, we will wait to see the extent of that injury, but it's absolutely heartbreaking to see, 19-year-old Euros hero Michelle Adjaman being stretchered off Pride Park. It was in the 80th minute, and you never want to kind of speculate when a player goes down holding their knee, but
she doesn't seem the type of player, does she, to go down easily and not get back up?
That's the thing, and that's what we know about her from everything she's done, you know, during the Euros and of course for Brighton and Arsenal. But I think it's concerning because actually it came out just a few days ago that this year alone in 2025, the number of ACL injuries is now nearing 150. And we talk about all this research and all the kind of activism that's been done about trying to prevent ACL injuries the last couple of years. And I think it's actually flying under the radar a little bit this year, but it's happening so much more. And I think, you know, I'm still praying that isn't what's happened to her. But if it is, I think we have to start looking now and really asking these questions. What is it? Is it pitches? Is it boots? Why are there so many ACL injuries in the women's game? Because that question still isn't being answered.
Yeah, I think that'll be a fascinating one across the board for sportswomen in particular. Let's have a look at some of the debuts as well last night, in particular Lucia Kendall. To go out at such a young, tender age and then go and win player of the match as well. Tell us a little bit about more and what a talent she is.
Yeah, she's actually a remarkable person because I was reading up about her a couple of weeks ago, and she used to play cricket for Hampshire, and she was actually selected for the England Women's Cricket Academy back in 2019, 2020. So she's a very talented.
She's just one of those annoying people who's just good at everything, clearly.
I know. I mean, how are you good at two sports? But there you go. She's also very, very good at football, as she proved, I think, on the international stage last night. I haven't seen a debut like that for the Lionesses since somebody you might recognise called Grace Clinton, who of course scored on her England debut. Lucia Kendall's so unlucky not to score on her debut. She hit the post, but she had the most shots on target of any player, I think, in that England squad. One player of the match. And I think actually that is exemplary of the fact that when you give a player an opportunity in a squad which is normally so watertight and there's not a lot of new players coming in, that's what they do. They want to prove themselves. And I think for Sarina Wiegman, actually, maybe, I was really glad to see her play some new players, and I hope she continues that forward. For Lucia Kendall now, I think it'll be a challenge of can she get into the squad when all those injured players are back in, you know, the likes of Jess Park and Lauren Hemp. But on this showing, she 100% deserves it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think players like Aggie Beaver-Jones, who scored a goal as well, to come in, make an impact, to ask questions of some of the senior players, you know, who's going to start in 18 months' time when the Women's World Cup comes around. I guess it's healthy, isn't it, for a strong Lionesses team?
It is, but you know what, I'm going to say it, and I've said this since before the Euros. I know Alessia Russo was absolutely fantastic at the Euros, and of course we won, which we'll always be very happy about. But Aggie Beaver-Jones, for me, is a shoo-in to start for the Lionesses. Her form at Chelsea is absolutely incredible. I think she scored 4 now in the first 6 WSL matches that she's played. And look what happens when you reward her with a start. She was just a couple of days ago, she was awarded top scorer for England this season, and that's with the limited number of minutes that she's played. I think she provides something that Russo doesn't. I'm not saying, before everyone comes at me, don't play Russo for England, because I get that she's that player that has to be there.
But the numbers, like you say, the numbers don't lie.
And she's that box in the box character.
Get them both up front. It'll be great. But 18 months for Sarina Wiegman to decide. Uma, thank you so much for joining us this morning. As always, lovely to speak to you. And that open flag, by the way, the signed open flag looks sick. But have a good day. Thank you very much. Okay, NBA in America, the basketball. The NBA is underway, and we're getting you in the mood as TalkSport has live and free basketball on our YouTube channel. You can watch the London Lions in action tonight at 7:30 as they look to make it 3 Euro Cup wins on the bounce. They're the only British side in the competition, and they're building something special at the Copper Box Arena, which is a venue which has attracted big names such as Tottenham's Mohamed Kudus, Fulham's Alex Iwobi, and presenter Maya Jama. That's live free basketball tonight at 7:30 on the TalkSport YouTube channel. Like a little bit of basketball, Nick, you've come back in, and it's 5:44, and it's time for this.
It's a front page throwdown.
Oh, what a move!
The front page is first on the early sports breakfast.
TalkSport. I always think basketball's quite like F1. It's good to watch the start and the end, and the bit in the middle. I can go and make.
It's just shuttles, isn't it, back and forth?
So front pages. You scared of any particular animals?
Anything smaller than like a squirrel, anything that can move fast and get somewhere.
Really?
Not a fan. Yeah, like cockroaches, spiders, just gross. Just no, thank you.
Supermarket staff were stunned when one of the world's deadliest arachnids was found alive in a bunch of bananas. The Panama wandering spider was spotted in a fruit box in Orpington, southeast London, after travelling more than 5,000 miles from its home. That is, I mean, I don't like
that. Is not ideal.
That would really put. I've seen some killer spiders in Australia. The redbacks. You got to be careful. You got to look under the toilet.
Did you see that in a controlled environment, or was that just like in and around like
in a public toilet on Fraser Island, which is like this big sand island that you do these like 4x4 safaris. Beautiful place, but yeah, pretty scary. What about ghosts? You believe in ghosts?
I do. You know, I actually think I caught one on my CCTV one time.
Tell me more.
I put it on my Twitter. We got downstairs and I noticed all the garden furniture had been flipped over in the garden. I was
paranormal activity.
Yeah, and it wasn't even stormy that night. I was like, that's so weird. So we went back on the CCTV and I kid you not, legit, like you see a flash, a swoosh, and then the cushions flip off and then the chair flips over. So not even like a gust of wind.
Wow. Well.
And then I was like, well, actually the cushion finished there, and actually in the garden it's further over, and now it exactly one of the cushions just flipped and rolled down the garden. Very strange.
And has the ghost come back?
No, thank goodness. Touch wood.
So you might
Do
see
that
some.
to me, not especially with Halloween coming up.
Well, down here you might see some more. London is a ghost hotspot that's home to some of the most haunted places in the UK. Spooky stats. They're the areas where you're most likely to see an apparition pass by. The Tower of London is the most ghoul-infested building in Britain. It's just over the river, so if you go over there, you might see some more.
I got freaky vibes as well. Over the road, I'm staying in a hotel, and what backed onto my window, I found out was one of the oldest operating theatres. You know where they used to operate on bodies?
So you can hear the screams, can you?
And then I woke up this morning, opened my curtains, albeit it was very dark, but they still had the light on, and you could see there was like a skeleton that they've obviously got in a display through the window with what looked like potion bottles, but were obviously the medicinal bottles back in the day. So yeah, I've got a little bit freaked out this morning.
Well,
Halloween is amongst us.
Yeah, exactly. It's Friday, isn't it? There we go. That's the front pages.
Lovely. Thank you very much. This is Early Breakfast with me, Sam Quek. Up next, we'll look ahead to tonight's Carabao Cup games live on TalkSport. morning, I'm Sam Quek. This is Early Sports Breakfast on TalkSport. We're building up to breakfast at 6 a.m. with Alan and Ali. Well, it's safe to say that Liverpool need a win, but tonight they face a bit of a bogey team. That'll be live on TalkSport. That's right, Crystal Palace. They have won 3 of their last 4 encounters. However, none of those wins came at Anfield. Palace manager Oliver Glasner looks ahead to facing Arne Slot's struggling side after Liverpool's defeat to Brentford.
A little bit more question marks. We don't know which team they are playing. Usually in the EFL Cup they rotated quite a lot. They have a few doubts with injuries, but the way they are playing won't really change. And of course we watched our game back, and of course we watched the Brentford game because this is where our next 2 oppositions. It's a great team, and yeah, I don't know why, and it's also not my job to analyze what happens at Liverpool. And we play them now the 3rd time in this season, and yeah, I think we did quite well in the first 2 games. So we rely on what we want to do. We rely on what we can do. We can't copy anybody else, and we don't want to copy anybody else. And so that's how we approach the game.
Elsewhere, Brighton go to Arsenal. That'll be live on TalkSport 2 later. And Fabian Herzler had this to say.
I think it's not only Gabriel, it's the movement they do together. I think they block very well for each other. They have really good patterns. And the other side is also that we are quite good in defending. So when we look at our defending record statistic this season, we are quite good. We also try to build like a set-piece culture. This needs time. This doesn't come overnight. I think when we look at Arsenal, they're one of the first teams in the league who had like a set-piece coach, and they work now on these topics for several months, for over a year, and you see now the results of all this work. So I think it's getting more and more important, these set pieces in the Premier League. So we have to adapt, we have to be ready, but we are in a progress, and we are quite confident that we're able to defend the set piece against them.
You can listen to that live on TalkSport 2 from 7 p.m. this evening. Meanwhile, Wolves and Chelsea will be live on the TalkSport app from 7:45. And before Alan and Ali arrive for TalkSport breakfast in a few minutes, there's just time to play you this. With Sean Dyche and Martin O'Leary both in top jobs, here at TalkSport, we're preparing more of our presenters for life in management. On Drive, Andy Goldstein gave Gabby Agbonlahor some job interview prep. He asked how he'd deal with a player who's constantly late for training.
What I want to say to you now, come and sit down.
Hi, Gaffer.
Yeah, come and sit down.
Hi, mate. Yeah, sorry I'm a bit
Come and
late.
sit down.
Yeah, sorry I'm a bit late. There was a goose on the M25.
Yeah, what's that Gucci you got on there? Honestly, don't wear that tomorrow. Wear the night tracksuit, okay?
Okay, sorry. So which Gucci one? Left or right watch?
No, I'm about the Gucci tracksuit.
Oh, yeah.
Rascal
okay.
one you got on there, pal.
Yeah, sorry, Gaffer.
So, you know my rules. There's nothing worse than being late for me.
Gary Abuno, Andy Goldstein, TalkSport. A lot of fans saying you're going to get sacked in the morning. What's your view on that? What do you say to the fans? You got beat 9-1 today. You got no goalkeeper. You got rid of him. Your goal scorer's gone.
To be honest, Dubai's looking very nice this time of year, so they can sack me if they want, because this club's going nowhere. I'm sick of it. I'll get a better offer abroad. I've got interest in Saudi, so stuff your job, Goldstein. I've had enough of you as well, and hopefully no managers want to work under you ever again. How about that?
Sign him up now. No nonsense talk. He just wants to go to Dubai and play a bit of paddle, doesn't he? But yeah, I'm just thinking now, what presenter would make the best manager? I guess Ali's already done it. You'd get no nonsense from Simon, wouldn't you? Jim. Goldstein. No, not for me. Yeah, Andy Townsend. He'd be a good one. Yeah, good shout. But yeah, lots of potential. They just need to sit in the seat, don't they, on breakfast? We know Martin O'Neill got one literally the day after. So Steve Bruce as well. he was in it. Let's see if he gets a job very soon. We shall see in that magic chair. Also this morning, I asked for your texts and calls about throwing your toys out of your pram, just like Vinícius Júnior did technically after his rant about manager Xabi Alonso wanting to leave the club. We've had a text come in saying, "Morning, Sam. My toys are fully out the pram until they scrap VAR. I'm a loyal Man City supporter and I now prefer watching non-league football." Ooh, that's a big decision. Complete boycott there. Right, that's me, Sam Quek, for Early Breakfast. Loads coming up on TalkSport Breakfast today. We've got four-time snooker world champion John Higgins. He's going to be discussing Celtic and Brendan Rodgers leaving the club. Sheffield Wednesday administrator Chris Wigfield will be joining us to talk about the next steps for the Champions Club. Charlie Adam as well will be with us to preview Liverpool against Palace. And Neil Warnock will be here to discuss the long ball and throw-in revolution of the Premier League. Thanks for listening.